We'll next hear from Bob Margolis with Yahoo Sports.
Hey, Dale, do you know why you're good on the big tracks where your best results have come from?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in I've been in some great race cars. I've had some race cars that did everything I asked them to do. Tony Sr. and Tony Jr. were really great at putting the right people together to do the the air induction and the bodies on the cars and maximize those areas that really mean the most at those racetracks. But really, I mean, I've been in some plate races where we looked, average and we weren't, strong. We never could flex our muscle in certain races. And so that reminded me and showed me really, I guess, that when we did win and we were strong and we did dominate, it was because I had cars. I knew what I wanted the cars to do, and that's important, to be able to make the next move and to take advantage of this and that and the other. And you got to be a smart driver to be able to do that, but those cars were able to make, to accommodate me, and those cars were able to accomplish what I was seeing in my mind happening and what I was trying to make happen. And that's real important. If your car ain't strong enough, you're just going to get overpowered eventually on the plate tracks. And so that was a really important part of the deal when we were winning races.
Next, we will hear from Rob Gray with Des Moines Register.
Hey, Dale, I wonder if you could give your impression of Landon Cassill, Hendrick developmental driver who's raced a handful of races in the JR Motorsports car in the Nationwide Series. What do you think of him and his prospects as he develops?
Well, he's really, really young, so he's got a long ways to go. He needs to have, you just want a guy like that to have as much patience as possible to really help, to really grow his career at the beginning, and for him to understand as much and learn as much as he possibly can. He has to be a sponge right now and just kind of sit back and relax and observe and understand, and he just wants to get after it and get to racing, and his patience would reward him right now. It was tough at the beginning of the season because we couldn't get him approved for a lot of the races we wanted him to run, and so he's only seen limited competition this year, and it's hard for us and the team to really get a good gauge on exactly where Landon is in his development as a race car driver in the Nationwide Series. But we've got all season to find that out and to work with Landon. He's a great kid, a lot of fun to work with. He's a good guy and good to have around. He just has to have patience when he's when he's not in the race car. When he's in the car, you got to be smart, but you also need to be fast. And he's working on that. He's really improved quite a bit on being able to take care of his race car.
And next, we will hear from Jorge Medaka with FoxSports.com.
Dale, a couple times this week you've mentioned you want to be out front as much as you can for the fans, but last year your teammate Jeff Gordon led only the last lap to win at Talladega. Has that made you think twice about your strategy this coming week?
No, not really. I think, Talladega, you got a lot of fans in the stands. You do what you got to do to get up front. They would definitely want to see you win the race, and maybe they'd trade just you leading that last lap for that win. Maybe they'd trade that for leading a lot of laps in the middle part of the race, I'm sure. But if you can do both, do both. I want to be up toward the front anyways to stay out of any accident that might be happening or could happen behind me. The farther you are toward the front, the safer you are as far as that goes. So, it's just easier being able to pit, get on and off pit road if you're in the top 5 or leading the race. It's a a whole lot easier to get in and out of your pit box and be able to do what you need to do.
And we'll take our last question today from Chris Fisher with WBTW Florence Myrtle Beach.
Hey, Dale, getting back to testing, we've heard that you checked out the new pavement at Darlington. Given Jeff Gordon's success and Jimmy's success there recently, how's that going to help you heading into the race?
Actually, I didn't get to run any laps on the racetrack. I just rode out there and looked at the racetrack itself while they were tire testing for Goodyear. I just wanted to see just how much different it was, I guess, than it had been. The new paving job looks great. Looks like they worked very hard to make sure it was done as well as possible. From what I could tell, it's very fast. From what I've heard about times and speeds, it's very quick. It should be interesting. It should be an interesting weekend. Interesting to see how the pavement deals with the cars and the heat of the day and the practices. We're going to be running on it Thursday most of the day, and Friday. It's a Saturday night race, so that cooler temperature should help the track itself maintain, stay together. We won't have any problems with the track coming apart. But how fast will the speeds get later in the evening? That should be interesting to see. How good will the racing be? Typically you don't have too much side by side at Darlington, but you do have a lot of guys passing because you have guys, the tires falling off and whatnot. But will that be the case this weekend or that weekend for the race? I'm not sure with the new pavement, but it'll be the same old Darlington in a lot of ways, the way you drive the line and whatnot. But I'm pretty interested and excited about it. We got a pretty cool paint scheme, a little retro scheme we're going back with to Darlington, and I'm excited to have that out on the racetrack and hoping we have a good weekend with it.
And that is all the time we have for questions today. Denise, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Jamie. Dale, thank you for your time today. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll see you on Fox this weekend.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And thanks to all the media who joined us today. We appreciate your participation.
Thank you, and ladies and